My 29M date 25F called me broke and demanded I pay her for wasted time. She has no idea what I am actually worth. This is going to sound crazy, but I need some perspective on what happened last night. I have been out of the dating scene for a while due to work commitments, and I am honestly shocked at how transactional modern dating has become. A little background. I am a freelance app developer who recently sold my AI startup to a major tech company. The acquisition happened about 3 months ago, but due to regulatory approvals and NDAs, it is not public yet. I have always lived pretty modestly, small apartment, cook most of my meals at home, drive a 2019 Honda Civic that I bought used. Old habits die hard, and honestly, I like the simplicity. I met Vea through a dating app. She has got this whole Instagram lifestyle blogger thing going, about 47K followers, always posting about trendy restaurants, designer shopping halls, vacation spots. Her bio mentioned she was looking for someone successful and ambitious, which I figured meant career-driven, not necessarily wealthy. We had been texting for about a week, and she suggested we meet at this upscale steakhouse downtown. I figured it was a nice gesture. She picked a place she liked, and I was happy to go somewhere she would be comfortable. The date itself was fine, conversation-wise. She talked a lot about her content creation, upcoming brand partnerships, places she wanted to travel. When I mentioned I work in tech, she perked up and started asking more detailed questions about my success level and whether I had big exit plans. I kept things vague because, honestly, I don't like talking about money on first dates. Then the bill came, $340. For 2 people at dinner. I looked at it and instinctively said, "Want to split this?" Vea literally laughed out loud. Like, loud enough that other tables turned to look at us. She said, "Split the bill. I thought you had money. Tech guys are supposed to be loaded." Everyone in the restaurant was staring at us now. I calmly replied, "You are right. I don't have money." Then I pulled out my Black American Express Centurion card and paid the entire bill without another word. She just sat there staring at the card, clearly confused. I could see her trying to process the contradiction. If I don't have money, why do I have a card that requires a $10K annual fee and significant spending requirements? After dinner, as we walked to our cars, she kept fishing for information about my real financial situation. She said things like, "That card suggests you are doing better than you let on, and I just want to understand what level of success we are talking about here." I kept my answers vague because her whole attitude rubbed me wrong. The way she said tech guys are supposed to be loaded, like I owed her expensive dinners just for existing in my industry. The assumption that my job title came with an obligation to fund her lifestyle. She texted me the next day asking about a second date, but something about this whole interaction left a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe I am overreacting, but shouldn't someone want to get to know you as a person before evaluating your wallet? My business partner Qley thinks I am being too sensitive, but he wasn't there to see how she acted when she thought I couldn't afford a fancy dinner. It was like I stopped being worth her time until the black card came out. Am I wrong to be bothered by this? Is this just how dating works now? Women expect men to prove financial worth up front? Or is this a red flag I should take seriously at it? A lot of you are asking about the black card situation. Yes, I have it for business reasons related to the acquisition, high spending requirements, travel benefits, etc. But the point is, she assumed I was broke and immediately lost interest until she saw evidence of wealth. Edit 2. To clarify, I don't mind paying for dates. I mind the entitled expectation that I should pay regardless of her behavior or attitude. The way she laughed when I suggested splitting felt disrespectful. Update 1. The situation has definitely escalated since my last post. Against my better judgment, I agreed to a second date with Vea, partly because I wanted to see if her behavior on the first date was just a fluke. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. She insisted we go to an even more upscale place. This trendy fusion restaurant that charges $85 for a tasting menu before drinks. During dinner, she kept making comments about designer items she needed, vacation destinations she deserved, and lifestyle upgrades she expected from successful men. But here is what really bothered me. She spent half the dinner taking photos of everything. The restaurant interior, the food, our wine glasses, even a selfie of us together that I definitely didn't consent to. She was constantly on her phone, editing, and posting. I watched her post an Instagram story in real time with our location tagged and a caption about being treated right by a successful tech executive. She literally called me a successful tech executive while sitting across from me, like I was a prop for her content rather than a person. When the bill came, $280 this time, she didn't even pretend to reach for her wallet. Just sat there scrolling through comments on her posts while I handled payment. When I hesitated for a moment, not because I couldn't afford it, but because the assumption annoyed me, she got visibly irritated. "I don't date men who cannot afford to treat me properly," she said, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Our server, this woman named Zara, was clearly uncomfortable with the whole interaction. As we were leaving, she discreetly handed me the receipt and said, "Have a good evening, sir, and be careful." Later that night, Zara actually reached out to me on Instagram. She recognized me from Vea's tagged posts and told me something concerning. Apparently, while Vea was in the bathroom, she took a phone call and Zara overheard her saying, "He has money but acts cheap. I need to figure out exactly how much he is worth before I waste more time. My business partner Qley has been warning me about this kind of behavior. He said, dude, she is literally auditioning you for the role of wealthy boyfriend. This isn't dating. It is a financial transaction." I think Qley's right. The way she talks about what she deserves and expects from men she barely knows is pretty telling. She is not interested in getting to know me. She is interested in what I can fund. Part of me is curious to see how far this goes. Like, what happens when someone is this openly transactional about dating? How much entitlement can one person display? I know I should probably just end this now, but there is something fascinating about watching someone reveal their true character so completely. She has no idea what my actual financial situation is. So her behavior is based purely on assumptions about my industry and her sense of what she is owed. Edit. A lot of you are saying I should just tell her I am not interested instead of testing her. Fair point, but honestly, her behavior is so extreme that I am genuinely curious how it escalates. It is like watching a social experiment unfold. Edit 2. Several people have asked about the server reaching out. Zara said she has worked at high-end restaurants for years, and she has never seen someone be so openly calculating about a date's wealth. She felt bad for me and wanted to give me a heads up. Update 2. This is probably going to be my last update before I end this whole situation. But what happened on our third date was so outrageous that I had to share it. Vea suggested we meet at another expensive restaurant, but this time she came with an agenda. She wanted to talk about future plans and financial compatibility. From the moment we sat down, she was asking direct questions about my startup, my income, my savings, my investment portfolio. When I gave vague answers about doing okay, she got visibly frustrated. She said, "I need to know what kind of lifestyle you can support. I am 25. I am not wasting time on someone who cannot provide the life I want." Then she started talking about her requirements for a serious relationship. She needed a man who could afford regular luxury vacations, designer shopping allowances, fine dining at least twice a week, and eventually a house in a prestigious neighborhood. I asked her what she was bringing to this hypothetical relationship besides financial expectations. Wrong question. She launched into a speech about how her beauty and social media presence were valuable assets, how she elevated men's social status by being seen with them, and how her high standards meant she only dated successful providers. At this point, I was just morbidly fascinated by the level of entitlement on display. But then she suggested we take a weekend trip to Napa Valley. She had already looked up wineries, luxury hotels, spa treatments. The whole itinerary would cost about $3,000 for 2 nights. When I hesitated and said that seemed expensive, she absolutely exploded. "Stop pretending to be modest. I know tech guys make bank. Either you are lying about being broke or you are too cheap to invest in this relationship. Either way, I am embarrassed to be here." She stood up, loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear, and continued, "I have wasted 3 weeks on someone who cannot even afford to treat me right. This is pathetic." Then she demanded I Venmo her $150 for wasted time and Uber rides to these dates. I just stared at her for a moment, then quietly paid our dinner bill and sent her the Venmo payment. No argument, no drama, just gave her exactly what she asked for. As I was leaving, she was already on her phone, probably posting about the experience or calling her friends to complain. The next day, she texted me demanding an explanation for the financial games I was playing. She said if I didn't clarify my real net worth within 24 hours, she was going to expose cheap tech guys who mislead women on dating apps. I didn't respond. Honestly, this whole experience has been eye-opening. I had no idea that some people approach dating as purely transactional. She never asked about my interests, my values, my goals beyond money. Every conversation was about what I could provide for her. Qley was right. This wasn't dating. It was an extended job interview for the position of financial provider. I think I am done with dating apps for a while. Maybe I will try meeting people through hobbies or mutual friends, contexts where the focus is on personality rather than perceived wealth. Edit. A lot of you are asking if I am planning to tell her the truth about my financial situation. Honestly, what would be the point? She has already shown me exactly who she is. An apology now would just be because she found out I actually have money, not because she genuinely changed her values. Edit 2. Yes, I kept screenshots of her demanding Venmo payment for wasted time. The audacity is honestly impressive. Final update. Holy shit, you guys. I honestly did not see this coming. Remember Vea, the Instagram influencer who demanded I pay her for wasted time because I wasn't spending enough money on her? Well, she just found out exactly what my real net worth is, and the fallout has been absolutely insane. So last week, Vea posted an Instagram story about her disappointing tech date who faked wealth. She included photos of the modest restaurants we went to and basically called me a broke programmer who wasted her time. Her photographer friend, Jet Morrison, commented on the post, suggesting she research his company to expose financial lies. Big mistake. She apparently Googled Thorn Draper startup, looking for ammunition to embarrass me publicly. Instead, she found a TechCrunch article that went live that morning. Google acquires FlowSync for $847 million. Founder Thorn Draper becomes youngest self-made tech billionaire. $847 million, with an M, according to my friend Ridge Caldwell, who works in venture capital and knows people in her social circle. She had a complete meltdown when she saw the article. Apparently she screamed, threw her phone, and then spent the next hour frantically trying to figure out how to contact me. My phone started blowing up around noon. Missed calls, voicemails, text messages, dozens of them. Here are some highlights. Oh my God, Thorn, I had no idea. I thought you were just another broke programmer trying to impress me. We need to talk immediately. I cannot believe you let me think you had no money. Let me make this up to you. I will plan the perfect weekend to apologize, and my personal favorite. I have always been attracted to humble billionaires who live modestly, I responded with exactly one text. You were right. I don't have money. I have wealth. But you showed me you only care about what I can buy you, not who I am. The aftermath has been, wow. She immediately deleted all her Instagram posts about our dates and started telling people it was a misunderstanding. Too late. Screenshots of her calling me cheap and broke were already circulating in tech circles and among her influencer friends. Her follower count has dropped by 23,000 in 2 weeks. Several sponsorship deals got canceled when brands found out she would publicly mock a tech entrepreneur who turned out to be worth nearly $1 billion. Apparently, companies don't want to be associated with someone who shows such poor judgment and materialistic values. She has been telling people that I deceived her by not revealing my wealth, but everyone can see through that. The screenshots of her demanding Venmo payment for wasted time are particularly damaging to her credibility. Ridge told me she has been trying to get my contact information through mutual connections, claiming she wants to apologize properly and that we had a real connection that she would like to explore further. I am not interested. The funny thing is, this whole experience taught me exactly what I needed to know about modern dating. Some people see relationships as transactions, and there is no changing that mindset. Vea would have treated any broke programmer the way she treated me, with disrespect and entitlement. On the positive side, I have been getting to know my neighbor Sage Merritt, who is a graduate student in environmental science. She has no idea about the acquisition. It wasn't public when we started talking, but she is genuinely interested in my thoughts on sustainable technology and AI ethics. We have had amazing conversations about everything except money. The Google deal is finalizing next month, and will be public news soon. I am planning to stay in my same apartment for now and keep living modestly. The whole experience with Vea reinforced that I want to be valued for who I am, not what I can buy. As for Vea, she posted a long Instagram story yesterday about learning to value character over appearances and growing from past mistakes. The comments are not supportive. Sometimes the universe has a sense of humor. She was so concerned about not wasting time on someone who couldn't afford her lifestyle that she ended up missing out on someone who could have afforded any lifestyle she wanted. But honestly, I dodged a bullet. Imagine being married to someone who sees you as an ATM machine. Edit. Yes, the TechCrunch article is real. You can Google it. The acquisition has been in the works for months, but regulatory approval just came through. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking if I feel bad about the impact on her career. Here is the thing. She made her choices. She chose to publicly mock someone without knowing the full story, and she chose to treat dating like a financial transaction. Actions have consequences. Edit 3. To everyone saying I should give her another chance now that she knows I have money. That is exactly the problem. She only wants to apologize because she found out I am wealthy. Her values haven't changed, just her knowledge of my bank account. Edit 4. Thanks for all the support, everyone. This has been a wild ride, but I am grateful it worked out this way. Better to learn someone's character before things get serious. And yes, things with Sage are going really well. She still doesn't know about the money, and our conversations are genuine and thoughtful.